Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Knopp, and I'm an alto in Master Chorus Eastside. And I am interviewing Nathan Shiu today. Nathan has allowed me the opportunity to interview him. He is the most wonderful accompanist, and now I get to add composer for Master Chorus Eastside. When we perform, Nathan, most people in the audience don't get to learn too much about you. So this is a special moment where it's all about you. Okay. And I'm looking forward to learning about you as much as anyone else who's watching today. Nathan, how was music woven into your childhood and your family life growing up?
Um, I mean, I think one of the ways for sure is church. I grew up in a church. My dad was a pastor. He just retired recently.
Ah,
But as many who have grown up in the church or attend church currently, you probably know that music is integral to church life and the church experience. So for sure, right around through church. And then I think maybe stereotypical Asian Chinese parents, they I don't know that I don't know if they forced me. I don't know if that's the right word into music lessons, but they definitely provided music lessons for me. I actually started out learning violin
oh,
first, but that was I was really young. I was like 6 years, 5 or 6 years old maybe, and I took that for a year, and then we ended up moving. And when we moved, that's when my parents gave me the choice if I wanted to continue violin or change to something else. And for whatever reason, I chose piano. So from then on, I took piano lessons, and it was just part of life. So then, thankfully, in my education, they continued general music education, and then when it came time to choose whether you wanted to continue general music education, which was mostly singing, I think, or join band, I decided to join band at that time, and I continued that. And then in high school, there was sort of some circumstances which caused me to switch over to singing, and that's when I really started singing. Um, so yeah, through church and then just naturally through family life, uh, from what my parents provided for me, and through education. Thankfully, the school I went to valued music education, and so they had a great program, elementary all the way through high school.
wonderful. So you mentioned violin, piano. Are there other instruments that you play as well?
I have some that I have and I've dabbled in. Um, I have I have a
Oh,
guitar.
yes.
I can play a few chords. I can't. That's about it. I hope this is a G. It's out of tune, but that's an out of tune G for you. So I can play a few chords, and I never remember any of them, so I have to look them up again. Um, but definitely do not. Finger picking or like broken chords. I can't do that. I eventually bought a ukulele or ukulele. Oh, you can't see it.
There you go.
Once again, I can never remember the chords on this, but um, I pulled that out for something we're doing for the mini concert coming up.
Nice.
Most recently, I bought an autoharp,
Oh,
which looks like this. This is great because if you have fundamental music skills, you can pick this up. Because I don't know if you can see in the
mhm.
video, you can see those chord names. The
Right.
chords are built in to these bars, and you just press a button and play.
Awesome.
So if you know chords, if you kind of know the guitar a little bit, this is even easier. You don't have to finger the chords.
I think I need one of those. I
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
marvelous
That's
for
beautiful.
some instant music. And then I mentioned band,
Hmm.
um, and that's when I picked up the flute. I
Oh,
also play the flute. This one I feel a little bit more proficient in because I played it from fifth grade when I started through ninth, 10th grade. And I still, this is the one, is this my second flute? I can't remember. It might be my first flute, but the one that I got in high school, and I still have it. And I still bring it out every so often.
that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
Beautiful. You and I both played during the same years of our life, from fifth grade through mid high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you
So
still have a flute?
I do. I still
Yes.
have the one that I played in high school also. Yeah, that's
Well,
awesome.
we'll have to find a piece for Master Chorus Eastside for flute duet and choir, and
Oh,
then
that sounds
we'll
like fun. Wow, that would be awesome.
you have to bring your chops back up.
There you go. Yes. So, with your formal education, what did you do beyond high school?
Mm. So I went off to Whitman College in Walla Walla,
Mm-hmm.
and there I wasn't sure. I mean, I got a music degree just kind of because that's what felt natural. It's like
Sure.
what I wanted to do, what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I did get a Bachelor of Arts in Music, where I focused on the technical degree is music theory slash composition, but I focused on composition rather than music theory. Other people might have focused on music theory and they would have written a project or a paper on something music theory related, but I didn't. I didn't do that. I went the composition side of that route, meaning I wrote a bunch of music and I put on a composition recital, and that was my senior project, my final project. From there, for a good several years, like 8 years, I want to say I was a student of life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Graduate school sounded horrible, so I continued staying there, and I worked as staff accompanist for Whitman College, which I learned loads there. That's when my sight reading skills were honed. I like to tell the story. This is probably not exactly how it happened, but I like to tell the story that the piano professor, who was my supervisor, he was the one that played most of the piano, and I was kind of helping out and supplementing.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have voice class. For those of you who have taken voice lessons in higher education, you probably know what I'm talking about. Voice class. The solo voice students come together and they perform for each other in voice class every week. And at Whitman College, they were great in providing accompanists for all of their students as much as they could. And if an accompanist could not make it to voice class, then the professor would step in and play for them. So my supervisor would step in and he would play for them. And I like to tell the story saying that one day he decided just not to show up. It's probably not how it happened, but that was like the first time it felt like where I was thrown in the deep end and trial by fire. I had to sight read for all of these students that were singing. Um, and through doing that for many years, I honed my skills there. My supervisors then also they had a lot of faith in me. They needed another voice teacher, and they decided to ask me if I'd be willing because they thought I'd be up for it. I was nervous because I'd never taught voice before, and really I'd only taken voice lessons in undergrad. But whatever they saw in me, I decided to take them up on it and started teaching voice, and that's when I really found how much I enjoyed learning about the voice and teaching voice. And so I did that for the last 3 years, as well as staff accompanist. And that's when I decided that I should go get a graduate degree, a master's degree, so that I do not do any harm to any future voice students.
Hmm.
Get some knowledge-based information and experience. So I went off to Washington State University and got my Master of Arts in Music, so a general music degree, where I focused on vocal pedagogy.
Great. Well, that explains a lot of why you are able to step in and help Linda with our warm ups. And sometimes when she's not there, you are able to do that with us as well. And we learn a lot from you. It's really cool. When you listen to music on your own, what kind of genres do you listen to? Or
Right.
are
Yes.
you making music all the time that you just don't really listen that much?
It's the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, I guess it's true for a lot of musicians. You probably find both on both extremes. Either extreme,
Sure.
some people, they make music and that's what they love, and so they just continue to listen to music because for their own edification. But then there are those where we are in music, and then outside of it, we're like, but that's work. So,
Right.
um, so yeah, I don't listen to music. Um, I for anything aural, for listening. Um, you know, I mean, like a lot of people, I put on like Netflix or something to
Yeah.
have in the background. Less so now, but more when I was living alone, I would have some kind of movie or TV show. Um, and then for, you know, some people like to wake up to music or an alarm, like, meh, meh, yeah, an alarm.
Right.
I like to listen, I like to wake up to the radio. It
Oh,
kind of eases me into waking up. It's like people talking. And so similarly, if I'm making a long drive, like a road trip or something, I like to listen to, actually, I like to listen to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me on NPR.
oh,
Yeah,
I am such a fan. That's so good.
so good. But
Love it.
also any other, like those silly quiz shows or that NPR has. And then sometimes podcasts as well.
Wow. We have that in common as well. Talk radio.
Hmm.
Well, other than listening to those kinds of things, do you have any other hobbies that you take part in?
I think, I mean, I don't have any right now per se, but I kind of dip in and out.
Yeah.
I think I think I discovered that I like to create. I discovered this because I was talking with my cousin, and she, on the offhand, mentioned that she doesn't like to cook.
Hmm.
And like if we were hanging out, I have friends when we hang out, we're like, oh, let's make something, let's cook something, let's bake something, and that's not what my cousin would like. She would like the experience of like partaking of it, but not the experience of making of it, and that blew my mind a little bit. I was like, wait, what? But you kind of learn the ins and outs and the secrets or whatever. Um, and so in the past, I have gotten into knitting, but I haven't touched that in years. I got into crocheting for a while. And then for those of you who were at the auction last year, you heard about the fact that I got into soap making from scratch. So
Yes.
not buying a soap base, but really mixing the oils and the sodium hydroxide together. I found that fascinating.
That's cool. Um, so, thinking about our experience of your song that you composed this year for us, We Will Sing Again, that's now on a YouTube video for those of you who haven't seen it, or those of you who want to watch it again, like me. Um, do you have plans or anything in the works right now that you're composing?
I do not have anything in the works right now. Um, as I mentioned before, I got my undergraduate degree in composition.
Right.
But I do find the act of composing kind of stressful. There's like that pressure of finding the right notes or um, trying not to be derivative or whatnot.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the piece that you did for MCE then. What was that like for you? Because you had commented to us a little bit, but if you could tell the audience, you know, what it was like for you to put something together for choir and then be part of putting it all together to the final piece.
Um, I think the process for writing We Will Sing Again is somewhat similar to all of my other processes in writing in the past, and possibly similar to a lot of composers out there. I haven't read about many other composers' processes, but just hearing here and there, um, where it feels like an inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And We Will Sing Again, I wrote that basically in about 2 days,
Huh.
and I didn't change too much after that. Um, I should probably learn to be better about like editing and fine tuning. But just like in my other things, like writing essays and whatnot, I hate going back and editing. I would rather do like one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, Similar with my composition projects. So yeah, that took me about 2 days, and then a little bit of fine tuning really to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else? I I'm trying to remember. I think I was eating dinner or right before when I was thinking about the tune, and then like kind of mulling it through my head, and then a melody came to me. It really started from the beginning for me, for this piece rather than the chorus, even though the chorus, the words in the chorus, um, the music has not stopped, we will sing again. That was the inspiration. Those are the words that we've been using in our Songs for the Souls video series that
Mhm.
Linda Gingrich has been making. We've been ending with those words, and it really felt like a good theme or motto for the times.
Absolutely.
Very poetic and very concisely and well put. But interestingly enough, the beginning of the song "We Will Sing Again" with the where the altos start,
Mhm.
silenced. We have been silenced for a time. That I really started there, um, and and then so I put it together. I came up with the verse and the chorus, the music for that, and then I thought, I think I came up with verse 1 and verse 2. And then I thought it needed like something else. I thought it needed a bridge or something, and I was trying to figure out a bridge. But as I was going through it, well, now I can't remember the harmonic structure, but for those of you who are a little bit into music theory and you go back in and you listen to it, the harmonic structure is built in such a way that it doesn't lend itself well to a bridge. It already has a big change between the verse and the chorus.
Mm.
And if you, for those of you who don't know much music theory, but you kind of listen to music on your own, a bridge many times stands apart. It changes a little bit just so that the familiarity of a verse and chorus can come back. And so verse and chorus, if they're more one unit, then the bridge can be a separate thing. Um, and I tried to shove a bridge in there, and it just wasn't working. And so I decided I would just leave that alone for the night. It was getting late. I needed to go to bed. And the next day I decided, no, I did not need a bridge. What I actually needed was for the verse to be elongated.
Mm.
So if you listen, for those of you who might not pick up on this immediately, if you go and watch the video, listen to the video, you'll hear that the beginning, the verse is at a certain speed or tempo, and then the third verse is just all of the notes are made longer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when you first had us sing that uh, on a Zoom meeting, a Zoom rehearsal. It brought tears to my eyes because for those of us who have been silenced as singers and not been able to get together, it really just really struck a chord. And I'm sure other people felt that way too. It's such a beautiful song. Love it. So I encourage any of you who haven't heard it to go and listen. We Will Sing Again by Master Chorus Eastside. You'll find it. Nathan, I think we're nearing the end here, but I do want to ask you: do you have a bucket list? Are there things that you look forward to doing, or maybe there's one thing that if you don't do it, you will not be happy?
Oh, um, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. It's one of those questions
Okay.
where, I mean, if you don't have one, then like when you get asked the question, you draw a blank.
Yeah, yeah. You'll
And
think
then
of it
after this,
afterwards.
right, exactly, after this ends, like in a couple days or while I'm trying to fall asleep or something, I'll be like, oh, that thing.
Yeah,
Could have said
yeah.
that. So I don't know. Maybe I will think of it, and then I will need to plug that in somewhere, um, post it on Facebook or something. I don't know.
Well, we could do another interview of you just about your bucket list. Now
Right.
you need to write one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are there other things we should know about you or?
Also, one of those questions where when I get asked, I
Yeah,
don't blank. I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, this has been just delightful. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me today and
Thank you,
our
Lisa.
audience.
Yes.
Absolutely. I look forward to this being on the site and on YouTube and letting other people learn more about you as well. Nathan Shiu, everyone. Yay, we love him. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you. Oh, and
Take
there's the
care.
phone.
That signals the end. Take
Yep.
care, dear.
Bye.
Bye bye.